For too long, we the people have been failed by the poor leadership of tired old parties that have occupied the parliamentary benches for too long.
Arrest President Cyril Ramaphosa and prosecute him for the money laundering scheme he ran at Palapala.
For too long, we the people have wasted our votes on the established parties and their breakaways, their empty promises and their selfishness. This election, it's time for us to take back our power from these parties. It's time for new leaders. New leaders who are actually from the communities that they represent. New leaders who have listened to the people, who have written the People's Manifesto in partnership with the people. On 29 May, vote for new leaders who are of the people, by the people, and for the people. South Africa, we need new leaders. Vote Rise Mzansi.
Leadership dumela! Nikren bafethu. Kalama flate, 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 kalama flate. Yiso. Ladies and gents, welcome to the Rise Mzansi People's Rally. The People's Rally. Today, we make history. Today, your names will be in the history books for being part of Rise Mzansi, an organization that will change the future of politics forever. Before we start, a couple of house rules. Firstly, can we get everybody who's standing emuva? Everyone who's standing at the back, please find your seat. The marshals, if you can assist us, everybody standing at the back and in the aisles, come forward and find a seat. The second house rules, the bathrooms are at the back. You are able to access the bathrooms when you need them. Please go ahead and use them when you need. The third thing, there's water available. Please rehydrate, bafowethu. Siyazi ukuthi kuyashisa. The program is not going to be long. Please make sure you have some water whilst we make sure this program is a success. The last one, in case of emergency, bafowethu, can everybody listen? In case of an emergency, please move out in an orderly fashion to the side exits and the back exits. That's why all the stairs and the staircases must be clear, please. Again, I ask you, everybody standing at the back, please come forward and find a seat immediately. We're about to start the program. Ladies and gents, we would like to sing the South African national anthem. So if we can all stand up and observe protocol for the national anthem. Please let us remove our hats. I know we are shisa, but just for this moment, let's observe our national anthem and remove our hats. Let's put down our umbrellas just for a moment and respect this moment. This is our prayer for the nation. Let us respect this moment and sing the South African national anthem.
Sisigeleli Afrika malupaganisu pondolayo izwa imithandazo yethu Nkosi sigelela thina lusapolayo morena buluka sitha
You may be seated. Amandla! 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 Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for singing the South African national anthem. At this stage, I want to welcome all of you to this auspicious occasion. I want to recognize members of the National Leadership Collective who are in attendance here. I want to recognize members of the Gauteng Leadership Collective who are here. I want to recognize the provincial conveners from all the 9 provinces who are here. I want to recognize the media, the diplomats, and all our guests who are here. I want to recognize our families who have walked this path with us and have supported us during this exciting adventure of building a safe, prosperous, equal, and united South Africa in one generation. But most importantly, I want to welcome our supporters, our volunteers, our field organizers, team leaders, and our metro leaders. Welcome, leaders. We will begin the program by bringing on stage the Deputy Chairperson of Rise Mzansi, Silna Steyn.
Verkiesing na verkiesing het ek vir die DA gestem. Hulle het met elke verkiesing gesê, moenie jou stem mors deur vir 'n ander party te stem nie. Stem vir ons, want ons kan die ANC wen. Maar hulle het nog nooit die ANC gewen nie, en hulle sal ook nie. Die meerderheid Suid-Afrikaners vind nie aanklank by hulle nie. Hulle het hulle plafon bereik. Hierdie verkiesing het ek besluit om nie my stem op die DA te mors nie. Vanjaar stem ek vir 'n party van die toekoms, wat die potensiaal het om te groei deur stemme by die ANC weg te neem. Hierdie party is Rise Mzansi. Hulle groei in areas waar die DA nooit die vermoë sal hê om met die ANC te kompeteer nie. Moenie jou stem mors nie. Sluit by my aan op 29 Mei en stem vir nuwe leiers, vars in politiek wat die ANC kan klop. Stem vir Rise Mzansi.
Woo! What a beautiful day, everyone. You are so gorgeous, and as much as I know I need to stick to my time, I need to take a moment to take all of this in, because just wow. Thank you for being here. Thank you for traveling to join us today, and I am so honored to be with you today. Sanbonani. Goeiemiddag. Dumelang. Good afternoon. It's such an honor for me to be here today. The energy in this stadium, I can feel the hope and the change that our beautiful country needs in the atmosphere today. As I stand in front of thousands of people today, people who are the hands, the feet, and the hearts of Rise Mzansi, I am deeply humbled to think back of where we were exactly today, a year and a month ago, where I did my first speech as the National Deputy Chair of Rise Mzansi. There was a handful of people in front of me, and now, a year later, I stand in front of more than 5,000 people in this stadium and millions more watching us from home. Others across the globe joining us virtually, but also people who are here in spirit. We rise together. None of this would have been possible without the amazing volunteers who work tirelessly, walking the streets, going door to door, flighting posters, doing blitzes and handing out flyers. None of this would have been possible without the Rise Mzansi field organizers, the Rise Mzansi team leaders, and the Rise Mzansi supporters. I thank each one of you personally, and I welcome you today as our guests of honor. I want to specifically thank our families and welcome you here today. You are the people who've made sacrifices by allowing us all to build this movement and to bring us to the point where we are today. 10 days today, it is the election, and Rise Mzansi is ready to fill our seats in Parliament and in the provincial legislatures, and to make the changes South Africa so desperately needs. As we stand here today, people have already casted their votes across the world for Rise Mzansi. And people are still voting in London today as we speak. We have supporters and volunteers across the globe representing Rise Mzansi. Thank you, and I welcome you as you join us today on various platforms from all the ends of the earth. This Rise Mzansi's People's Rally is a culmination of hours and hours of work by people who've put their hearts and souls into this movement and political party with a dream and belief that we, as ordinary South Africans, can and will build the country we all deserve. A safe, prosperous, equal and united South Africa. Ons doen hierdie nie vir onsself nie. Ons doen hierdie vir ons kinders. As I stand here today, my daughter is in hospital. I actually was in hospital this morning first, and my son is involved in a hockey tournament. My wish is that by the time our grandchildren are the ages that our children currently are, that all children in South Africa will have equal opportunity to develop and grow their talent, equal world-class healthcare, equal education, and equal opportunity to thrive and prosper in our beautiful country. But before I get carried away, let me welcome our special friends and distinguished guests, diplomats, the media. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us in this incredible moment in Rise Mzansi's journey. I want to welcome the National Leadership Collective, the people who answered the call and stepped up to fulfill the obligation and duty to build and lead Rise Mzansi to where we are today. We started out as strangers. We became colleagues, then friends, and now we are family. Thank you for giving your hearts and your souls, not just to this movement, but to our beautiful country. Welcome to our amazing and talented national chairperson, the gorgeous Vuyiswa Ramagopa, who is also our Gauteng Premier candidate. Welcome to our inspirational national leader, Songezo Zibi. Welcome to our hard-working chief organizer, Makashule Ghana. And to the rest of the leadership collective. And last, but most definitely not least, the new leaders who were willing to put up their hands and were elected through an independent process to represent Rise Mzansi and the people of South Africa in the National Legislature and in the National Assembly and the legislatures. Thank you, Gauteng, under the leadership of the provincial convener, Tebogo Moalusi, for hosting this beautiful event. Welcome, all risers, to this event today. Ngiyabonga. Thank you, and enjoy this day with us.
Thank you. Woi woi. Woi woi. Laba bangenayo woi woi. Hamba kanjani? Danko. Ladies and gents, that was Usilna Stein. She is the deputy chairperson of Rise Mzansi. When we talk about integrity, that is the personification of integrity. She makes sure that our governance is in place. She makes sure that we don't break any of the electoral laws and make sure that this organization runs a very clean organization. Thank you. Asishayani izandla. So now I have the pleasure of introducing one of our finest leaders. This leader comes from very, very, very far. He comes from the Western Cape. He is the premier candidate for the Western Cape, and his name is Akolile Notywala.
1, 2. Sure. Yo. Otikizito
Thulamntana.
wenukalela
Thulamntana.
wenukalela
Thulamntana wenukhalela.
sizotikizito
Thulamntana.
wenukalela
Thulamntana.
wenukalela
Thulamntana wenukhalela.
isikalo somntana oye
Thulamntana.
wenukalela
Thulamntana.
wenukalela
Thulamntana wenukhalela.
sizotikizito
Thulamntana.
wenukalela
Thulamntana.
wenukalela
Thulamntana wenukhalela.
isikalo somntana oye
Thulamntana.
wenukalela
Thulamntana.
wenukalela
Thulamntana wenukhalela.
sizotikizito
Thulamntana.
wenukalela
Thulamntana.
wenukalela
Thulamntana wenukhalela.
isikalo somntana oye
Thulamntana.
wenukalela
Thulamntana.
wenukalela
Thulamntana wenukhalela.
Viva Rise Mzansi, viva!
Viva. Thank you very much for the Gwijo welcome. Good afternoon, everyone. You all look beautiful in this very sunny weather in Gauteng. My name is Akolile Notywala, as introduced. Our future in the Western Cape depends on our ability to bridge the divisions that keep us apart. Rise Mzansi is the political party and movement we have all been waiting for. The Democratic Alliance, which is the governing party in the Western Cape, have failed the majority of us. The failure of the DA in the Western Cape can also be attributed to the dismal failures of the ANC as an opposition party in that province. The ANC is a party that is plagued by factionalism and infighting, because all of them are thinking about their own interests and not about the needs of the people marginalized and neglected by the DA in the Western Cape. We have a plan to make the Western Cape safe, prosperous, equal, and united. It is called the Bridge Plan. Our plan is to bridge the racial, class, and spatial divides in the Western Cape by growing the economy and making the economy more inclusive, where we will create sustainable jobs. Our plan is to bridge the Western Cape divides by ensuring that there is security for everyone, by ensuring that all communities have access to the essential facilities and dignified services such as water, sanitation, electricity, and rubbish collection. By putting into place a functional public transport system that is safe, integrated, and affordable. We cannot bridge the divides if we cannot even connect. Our plan is to bridge the divides in the Western Cape by ending the spatial apartheid, the spatial injustice that is still so visible, and the violence that comes with it. We need to work together with community policing forums, neighborhood watches, sports teams, community organizations, businesses, big and small, academia, and all of civil society. Risers, we are a political party that listens and that will continue listening. We are a political party that cares. Siyakhathala. Rise Mzansi is a political party for the people, by the people. We are a political party for the rubbish collection workers that I met with in SST in Khayelitsha, and many others like them that have been exploited and neglected by the DA-led city of Cape Town. Their dignity and their community matters to us. We are bringing hope and change to the Western Cape. We are a political party for Auntie Jasmine, who I met in Mitchell's Plain, and many other pensioners in the Cape Flats in Cape Town, in George, in Knysna, that are also being exploited and denied access to water in the Western Cape. We are a party for all single mothers that are not cared for by the current government. Rise Mzansi is a political party for Ugogo eGugulethu, for Isa in Caledon, and for Latifa in Kels River. With the crisis of hunger in our communities, which Rise Mzansi has taken as a priority, Gogo, Isa, Latifa, and many others are doing the work through their community kitchens that feed hundreds of some of the most vulnerable and neglected people in the Western Cape. It is the stark inequalities, the lack of jobs for the young and the old, the growing and concerning levels of hunger, the drugs in our streets, the concerning levels of illegal guns in our streets, and the increasing levels of violent crimes such as murder. These are all issues and reasons why we must all rise on the 29th of May 2024 and go out and vote for new leaders. I want to say thank you very much. Bayadangi, engosi kakhulu, to all our volunteers, all our organizers, and all our supporters in the Western Cape and elsewhere in the country. Sekusele kancane sizophumelela. we can take the province of the Western Cape. Let us all get out there on 29 May 2024 and let us vote for new leaders. I rise. We rise. Together. Rise Mzansi, rise. Thank you very much.
Rise, Western Cape, rise! Rise, Western Cape, rise! Rise, Western Cape, rise! Rise, Akolile, rise! Rise, Akolile, rise! Danko, we are rising in the Western Cape. Noma bayathanda, noma bangathandi, siyarise, siyaprusa, siyapresa, siyapanda. We are making sure we are going to lead the Western Cape, noma kanjani. There's a song that we sing, we say, on the 29th of May, vote Rise Mzansi. Niyafrostan? On the 29th of May, ngithi 29th of May, on the 29th of May, anginizwa. On the 29th of May, on the 29th of May, on the 29th of May. That's correct. Let them hear us, let them feel us, because that's what Mzansi is going to do. Ladies and gents, right now I would like to invite on stage a powerful, formidable force from the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Tina Erais, we are not short of amazing women who can lead from the front. And so I would like to invite on stage the premier candidate of KwaZulu-Natal, Nonkululeko Hlongwane Mhlongo.
Haye marasa banisithanda sese emini yazana kuwe thandazani nonke emini yazana haye marasa banisithanda sese emini yazana kuwe thandazani nonke emini yazana hawu iyeza mama emini yazana kuwe thandazani nonke emini yazana haye mkuli mawusithanda sese emini yazana kuwe thandazani nonke emini yazana ngoba iyeza mama emini yazana kuwe thandazani nonke emini yazana haye marasa manisithanda sese emini yazana kuwe thandazani nonke emini yazana nonkululeko phathwa ewe nonkululeko phathwa masipala kanti qashwa kanjani.
I rise. Angnizwa leaders. I rise. I rise. We rise. We rise. Amandla. Amandla. Sanbonani Maraiza. 10 days to go until the elections. 10 days to go until the elections. This past Wednesday, besise Mandeni. Imandeni is a small town in the Ilembe district. We were there to attend a community gathering organized by one of our field organizers, Ubabum Sweli. As we sang Waiting for the Community, There was a little girl who was dressed in a pink top with white flowers and black shorts. Waqhuba wakhe wathi, "Mama, ngubani lo sisi lo?" Her mother replied, "That is the premier." Wabe sephendula untombazane wathi, "Mase ngimdala nami, I want to become a premier." Meaning that when I am older, I also want to be a premier. In other communities, women in their 60s lament that their children are without work, that they themselves have to continue way beyond the age of retirement. These women, just like me, were in their 30s in 1994. They worked tirelessly, filled with hope, believed that democracy and care would finally be in place to change their lives for the better. At that very moment, our vision for a safe, a prosperous, a united, and equal South Africa became even more important. As the sole premier candidate, female premier candidate in KwaZulu-Natal for the upcoming general elections, I am acutely aware of the significance of this moment. My candidacy represents a significant stride forward for women and young people in my province, highlighting the critical importance of gender diversity in politics. It has been the conversations I've had with people in different communities that have shaped both the People's Manifesto and the Phakama KZN plan. We have convened and will continue to convene on the side of the road, under a tree, in a tent, in community halls, in restaurants, in churches, because our politics is a politics of presence. It's a politics of accountability. It is a politics of ethics. The people of this country and KwaZulu-Natal must live long, healthy, safe, and dignified lives. And to achieve this, we must center the people at the center of this beautiful country and our politics. We must have peace and stability. We must create more jobs and grow the economy. We must, most importantly, vote for new leaders. We need new leaders, and the 29th of May is an opportunity for us to vote them in. I often remind field organizers, our volunteers and supporters, that when we speak about new leaders, we are not just talking about the National Leadership Collective. We are talking about every single person seated here today. We are talking about you. The people who do the hard work, invest their resources in making sure that you grow this movement. Ensure that people come out on the 29th of May to vote for Urais Mzansi. Make sure that you are at the center of helping Imphakathi Nqhamuka kuyona. We cannot allow a situation where in 2054, a young woman canvassing for premiership is speaking about the same issues we are grappling with today. We must strive for a future where our children and grandchildren do not inherit the issues that we deal with today. Let's work together to ensure that the hopes and the dreams of 1994 are finally realized. Let us build a society where no one has to lament about missed opportunities and unfulfilled promises. Ngicela ukuthatha leli thuba ukunibonga. Ngiyabonga kakhulu futhi ngiyanibona. Ngiphinde ngibonge nemndeni yenu. Okuhamba izinsuku ningayibonanga ngoba nivuke ekseni ngovivi. Nize nibuyele ebusuku sebelele. Ngicela nibazise ukuthi change and hope is on the way. Please tell them that they have suffered for far too long and the road ahead will be challenging, but it is also filled with opportunities for transformation. Let us seize this moment to honor the sacrifices of the past and to realize the aspirations of the future generations. Kufanele siphakame. Rises, kumele siphakame. Let us rise. We have got to rise for a different South Africa in one generation. We need new leaders, and you are the new leaders that we need. I rise. I rise. We rise. Amandla. Amandla. Ngiyabonga kakhulu.
yes. Rise, KZN, rise. Rise, KZN, rise. Rise, Nonkululego, rise. Rise, Nonkululego, rise. On the 29th of May. 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 Vote rise Mzansi. That's the instruction. Asinalo uvalo. Sanizwa maqabani we rise. Sanizwa maqabani. But we have to move on with the program. Asinalo uvalo. Asinalo uvalo ngalente siyenzayo. Asinalo uvalo. Asinalo uvalo. Asinalo uvalo ngalento siyenzayo. Asinalo uvalo. Asinalo uvalo. Asinalo uvalo ngalento esiyenzayo. Asinalo uvalo. Asinalo uvalo. Asinalo uvalo. I rise! I rise! We rise! Siyabonga. Now we are going to invite on stage the formidable Gauteng Premier candidate, Vuyiswa Ramogoba! Come on, Masambe! Let's go!
Lente siyenzayo.
Asinalo.
Lente siyenzayo.
Asinalo.
Lente siyenzayo.
Asinalo.
Uluvalo
Ngalente siyenzayo.
Lente siyenzayo.
Asinalo.
Lente siyenzayo.
Asinalo.
Lente siyenzayo.
Asinalo. Valo. Ngalente siyenzayo.
Lente siyenzayo.
Asinalo.
Lente siyenzayo.
Asinalo.
Lente siyenzayo.
Asinalo. Valo. Ngalente siyenzayo.
Ngilipuma moya wa.
Umoya wa moya
Vuma moya wa.
Umoya wa moya
Vuma moya wa.
Umoya wa moya vuma.
Ngete vuma moya wa.
Umoya wa moya
Vuma moya wa.
Umoya wa moya
Vuma moya wa. Ngeti valo tololo. Valo tololo.
Asinalo.
Valo tololo.
Asinalo.
Oluvalo.
Ngalente siyenzayo.
Ngeti valo tololo. Valo tololo.
Asinalo.
Valo tololo.
Asinalo.
Valo. Lente siyenzayo.
Asinalo.
Lente siyenzayo.
Asinalo.
Lente siyenzayo.
Asinalo. Valo. Ngalente siyenzayo.
Lente siyenzayo. Lente siyenzayo.
Asinalo.
Lente siyenzayo.
Asinalo.
Valo.
Ngalente siyenzayo.
Valo tololo.
Asinalo. Valo tololo. Asinalo. Valo tololo. Asinalo. Valo. Valo tololo. Asinalo. Valo tololo. Asinalo. Valo tololo. Asinalo. Valo. Let siyenza.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Leaders, let's sit down. Siyabonga. Umoya wethu uyavuma. Let's get into our seats and hear the address from the Gauteng Premier candidate, Vuyiswa Ramokgopa.
Vumani bo! Vumani bo! I rise! I rise! We rise! Together! Together! Sanbanan bahlali, Sanbanan marisers! Dumelang, baagi ba Gauteng, dumelang! Molweni, Absheni, Thobela, goeiemiddag, and good day to all of you today. Ke rata ho dumedisa baetapele ba Rise Mzansi, the members of the National Leadership Collective, the field organizers, where are you? Where are you, field organizers? Rise volunteers, rise up, rise volunteers. Ke dumedisa setjhaba kaofela sa Afrika Borwa. The people of Mzansi, we welcome you. Le amogetswe. In 10 days, the residents of Gauteng and the citizens of this country will elect a new government. And in 10 days, we will be faced with two choices. We can either continue on the same path with the same old leaders who got us into this mess, or we can elect new leaders. New leaders who will clean out the corruption, who will lead with integrity, and new leaders who will build a safe, prosperous, equal, and united Gauteng in one generation. The people of Gauteng are tired of empty promises. We are tired of feeling unsafe in our own homes. We are tired of watching our children grow despondent as they sit at home, unable to find work. The people of Gauteng are tired of being told that just because they are now over 35, that they are now too old to apply in our government. We will create 600,000 jobs over 5 years and support business owners. We will grow this economy. We said we have a plan to care for the children of this province, invest in early childhood development, and ensure that we repair the dismal state of Gauteng healthcare. And we declared that we will cooperate with other parties, with other spheres of government, and other stakeholders in the business and civil society space. And I know there are many amongst you here from the civil society space. Hold us accountable to that. Hold me accountable to that. So, risers, though we may grow weary and tired and impatient, our work is far from complete. In the next 10 days, 16 million residents of Gauteng must go out in our numbers and deliver a decisive victory for the province of Gauteng. We must show the people of Mzansi who we are. We must show them what Gauteng can do. We must show the people of Mzansi that the residents of Gauteng will never sit back and watch while our country is destroyed by greedy, uncaring politicians. Amasela. We want them out in 2024. Phansi ngamasela phansi. Phansi ngamasela phansi. Rise Mzansi, rise. On the 29th of May, we must demand change. And that change must begin right here, right now. On the 29th of May, Mata, Karuna, we will take our power back from those who have misused and abused it. And we will reclaim the dignity of the people of Mzansi. We must rise and vote for a safe, equal, prosperous, and united South Africa. On the 29th of May, we, the people of Gauteng, will have the final say. And so I'm calling on you. I'm calling on you, the people of Skirlik. I'm calling on you, the people of Hammanskraal, Alexandra and Midrand, the people of Tembisa. Where's Tembisa? The people of Ennerdale and Roodepoort, Sandton, Toekomsrus, Sebokeng. Sebokeng, I see you. Orange Farm. I am calling on the people of Everton, of Davidton, Etwa. I am calling on the people of Randburg and, obvious, the people of Soweto. Ekurhuleni, askisi guys. Ekurhuleni, rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up. We are the ones, nobody else. On the 29th of May, we, the people of Gauteng, must rise for new leaders. I rise, Mata, Mata, Matimba, Matimba.
Excess, nisase right lapho. Nisase right lapho. Nisase mchocho lapho. Nisase right ngara. Nisase right ngara. Ah man, ngifuna ukunibona man. Okay, I'm going to start that section. Ngize la, ne? Focus. I rise. We rise. I rise. We rise. I rise. We rise. We rise. Together. Nyanthanda. Danko. Akshubile ziyakhala manje. On the 29th of May. On the 29th of May. On the 29th, welcome Bonga Kwana.
Sanbonan. Molen. Sanbonan.
molweni. Molweni.
It's been a while, my friend. I have watched you fade away into the darkness of all your mistakes. It's time to let it go. 'Cause all this time I've been searching for your light in places that you have outgrown. You've come such a long way with your back against the wall, and yet you still rise tall. Yet you still rise tall through it all. Let's go. Kanisa sami sako, sikanyisele nabanye, uzongani banamanda kasezandleni zakho. Kanisa sami sako, sikanyisele nabanye, uzongani banamanda kasezandleni zakho. Let's go. Kanisa sibane sakho, sikhanyisele nabanye, uzungani banamandla kwasezandleni zakho. Asambeni, khanyisa, khanyisa. Sing it back, let's go. Khanyisa sibane sakho, khanyisa, khanyisa. Kanisa, kanisa sibane sakho. Kanisa, kanisa, kanisa sibane sakho. Kanisa, kanisa sibane sakho. Sikhanyisele nabanye, uzungani banamandla kwasezandleni zakho. Let's go! Aibo, let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Aibo! Kanisa, kanisa, kanisa sibane sakho, sikhanyisele nabanye, uzungani banamandla kwasezandleni zakho. Thank you so much. I rise, we rise together. Sharp, kanyisani sibane zenu, I love ya.
Something big is about to happen. Something big is about to happen. Rise, Mzansi, rise. Rise, Mzansi, rise. Are you ready to rise for Mzansi? Something big is about to happen. Please repeat after me. On the 29th of May, something big is going to happen. Let's do it again. On the 29th of May, something big is going to happen. Lina la me ke Big Boy Moagi ke moeteledipele wa province ya Bokone Bophirima Northwest wa Rise Mzansi. Rise Mzansi, rise. Rise Mzansi, rise. Ke mokwepa, rise Mzansi, rise. Isaiah 60 verse 22. When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. Repeat after me. When the time is right. Halala Rise Mzansi halala. Tiro ya me ke nyane fela. Ke a go lo itse sejalo se bui se se latelang. Se bui se se latelang se tlhoka go introduceiwa in a special way. Lebaka ke le monna yo se kananyana se morwalo thata. O tla mmona le motsetserepanyana se mo kimakima mme ditiro tsa gagwe di a boitshega. Monna yo ke batlang go mo introduce yo ke Leshole. Monna yo ke batlang go mo introduce yo ke monna Tia. Monna yo ke buang ka ene yo ke Kirigitla, ke Kakapa, ke Lebolobolo. Monna yo ke ena a tlhokometseng jalo gore re nna le di-supporters mo Afrika Borwa, ke ena a tlhokometseng jalo our volunteers, ke ena a tlhokometseng jalo our field organizers. Kwa di-partyng nyana tse di bokoa ba mmitsa SG kgotsa secretary general. Mo partyng ya nnete mo go Rise Mzansi ba mmitsa chief organizer. A ke lo a itse gore chief go raya gore o motona monna yo. Chief organizer, are you ready for Rise Mzansi's chief organizer? O na le pina ya e ratang, o e rata thata, o ithutile yone a etetse ko Northwest. Pina ya teng ya re, fa o le motho o support-a magodu a wa tsenwa. Se mau a wa tsenwa, se mau a wa tsenwa. Fa o le motho o support-a magodu a wa tsenwa. Fa o le motho o support-a magodu a wa tsenwa. A re emeng re amogele wa chief organizer, the one and only, tall, dark, and handsome Makashule Ghana. Awatsenwa se mau awatsen se mau awatsen. Fauli mutu o sapota magodu awatsenwa se mau awatsenwa se mau awatsen. Ladies and gentlemen, Makashule Ghana.
Amandla! 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 Matla! Matla! Rise Mzansi, rise! Rise Mzansi, rise! Long live Rise Mzansi, long live! Long live Rise Mzansi, long live! Amandla! Amandla! Matla! Matla! Matimba! Matimba! Nakelsa, Tatana Moahi, Nakelsa, Program Director. Thank you very much. Siyabonga. Siyabulela. Realeboga. Roleboga. Siyabulela. Baya danki. Thank you very much to all our volunteers. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. To our field organizers, we see you. Thank you very much. To our provincial organizers, thank you very much. Thanks for the work that you are doing. To all our leaders and candidates, thank you very much. Today, as a chief organizer, I stand before you to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for your dedication to building a safe, a prosperous, equal, and united South Africa in one generation. You are agents of hope. You are the change that South Africa has been waiting for. So thank you for believing in this mission. And I see many of you wearing the Rise Mzansi t-shirt. Earlier on, I saw someone wearing the very first Rise Mzansi t-shirt that we produced. Thank you for wearing the Rise Mzansi t-shirt. I want to say to you, the decision that you took is a brave one and is the right one. One day, our children, one day, our grandchildren will read about our efforts to bring and realize a South Africa that they deserve. And I want to say to you, the volunteers, the organizers, the supporters, you must never doubt the decision that you took. You must never doubt it. It is the right one. And I want to say that you are doing great. We are doing great. Rise Mzansi is doing great. Today, I just want to reaffirm one thing. Rise Mzansi is here. Rise Mzansi is alive. And Rise Mzansi is here to stay. Together, we rise. Today is a special day for us as risers. Because of you, because of all of you, Rise Mzansi is in all 3 ballots in all our 9 provinces. Every voter in South Africa will have an opportunity to vote for us, to vote for Rise Mzansi. Because we are present at Rise Mzansi. From Giyani to Guguletu, you'll find Rise Mzansi. Because of the work that we have done, I want to tell you something. We are not waiting for the 29th of May to get our first vote. Rise Mzansi, at this moment, we already have votes. We have votes that come from London. We have votes that come from Tanzania. We have votes that come from Cairo, that come from Sri Lanka, that come from Norway, that come from Washington, that comes from New York, that comes from Dubai. And it's all thanks to all of our hard work. So thank you. Thank you very much. Because of the work that we have done, we are present in many towns in South Africa, in many townships in South Africa, in many informal settlements in South Africa, in many villages, in many farms in South Africa. And because of the work that we have collectively done, because we did this work together, we have withstood all the attacks that have come our way since the 19th of April 2023. So fellow risers, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So fellow South Africans, in this election, as it was said by my leaders who spoke before me, I want to reiterate, we are going to make a big choice. We have to choose between the old parties of the past and the movement of the future. We will have, on one side, parties that profit on dividing South Africa and South Africans, and the party of the future. Rise Mzansi is the party of the future. We are a party of the future. We are a newly established political party. I know others want to say we're a small party. We are not a small party. We are just newly established. The voters, after the 29th of May, it is the voters that are going to determine our size. Not the current establishment. The voters are going to determine the size of Rise Mzansi. And by the look of things, the way I see us here, we are not a small party. And we are not going to be a small party. We are going to be a big player after the 29th of May. Because you know what? The power belongs to the people. The power belongs to the people. It does not belong to all parties. It belongs to the people. So, on the 29th of May, we are going to vote for a future we want to live in. And I must say, we must reject all the old parties that have failed to build a safe, a prosperous, equal, and united South Africa. So I want to say, and I want to speak as open as possible so that people must not say that I spoke in codes. I don't want to speak in codes. I don't want to speak in tongues. I want to say it clear so that everyone knows what we are up against in this election. In these elections, we have two parties that are on their way out. They try all means and all tricks to stay alive. On one side, we have a dying ANC. They are trying by all means. They are trying by all means. They are stealing our money to try to stay alive. And when the ANC dies, it is taking the DA with it. The ANC dies and it takes the DA with it. The ANC says it wants to do more. More of what? More corruption. More stealing of our money. Can you really trust them? Do you trust them to lead you? Amasela. Sithi phansi ngamasela phansi. Phansi ngamasela phansi. Awuwe musho wa ANC awuwe. Awuwe musho wa Ramaphosa awuwe. Abahambe amasela abahambe. Long live Rise Mzansi, long live. Long live Rise Mzansi, long live. So on the other side of the dying parties, we have the DA. The DA is dying, and they refuse to die. So this is what they do. They are starting a little multi-party something there to try to stay alive. They say they want to rescue South Africa. But they can't rescue the people of Hammanskraal. They can't rescue the people of Soshanguve. They can't rescue the people of Mitchell's Plain. How can they rescue South Africa? So this is what they've done. They've put all these parties that they want to die with them. They say, no, let's form a little club to confuse South Africans. And we want to say, you know, a vote for Action SA in this election is a vote for the DA. Anyone who thinks of voting for Action SA, just know that you are trying to keep the DA alive. If you vote for ACDP, you are trying to keep the DA alive. If you vote for Freedom Front Plus, you are trying to keep the DA alive. The DA is dying. And it will die with the ANC. You know what? They can't even tell you who their presidential candidate is. They don't know. You ask them, so if you win, who's going to be your president? They say, we'll see after the elections. Tina ku Rise Mzansi, we know who our president is going to be. We know who, when Rise Mzansi win, we know who our premiers are going to be. When Rise Mzansi win, Songezo Zivi is going to be our president. Long live Songezo, long live. Long live Songezo Zivi, long live. Long live Songezo Zivi, long live. So let me just close on these old parties by saying this. There are these other ones, they like wearing red. They say they want to do things differently. But just go to Tembisa. Go to Alexander. Go to Soweto. Bella, they are part of the mess that's happening in Johannesburg and Ekurhuleni. Can you really trust them? Amasela. So leaders, I want to say to you, we have thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of reasons to be proud of ourselves. In this election, we have trusted ourselves. We are not part of any coalition. When you vote for Rise Mzansi, you get Rise Mzansi. We are not trying to trick voters. People must know that when they vote for Rise Mzansi, they get Rise Mzansi. When they vote in KZN, they know they are voting for Nonkululeko. When they vote in the Western Cape, they know they are voting for Atkolile. And when they vote in Gauteng, we know, because I'm voting here, I'm voting for Vuyesu. We are not going to trick voters. And on the 29th of May, we are still going to make it clear. Rise Mzansi is here to stay. We are here. And on the 29th of May, unlike the people abroad, we who are here, we are going to get 3 ballots. We are going to get 3 ballots. Who are we voting for? Ballot paper number 1? I can't hear you. Ballot paper number 1? Ballot paper number 1? Ballot paper number 2? Ballot paper number 2? Ballot paper number 3? Ballot paper number 3? So we need to go out there. We have 10 days. We must tell our friends. We must tell our boyfriends. We must tell our girlfriends. We must tell our wives. We must tell our husbands, our mothers, our fathers. That on the 29th, we are voting for Rise Mzansi. On the 29th, we are voting for Rise Mzansi. Asijiki. Asijiki. I rise. I rise. I rise. We rise. We rise. Amandla. 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 Aule moto. Aule moto. Usapota mahodu. Aule moto. Awatsenwa. Simau mau. Awatsenwa. Simau mau. Aule moto.
Aule moto. Sapota mahodu. Awatsen.
Aule moto.
Aule moto. Sapota mahodu. Awatsen.
Awatsenwa.
Awatsenwa.
Simau mau. Thank you very much, Nkelsile, Kensasunene. Let's go and do it on the 29th of May. Thank you very much. Thank you, volunteers. Thank you, organizers. Thank you, supporters. We are doing this. Asejiki, thank you very much. Kensasunene.
Rise! I rise! Leaders, I know Litsatsi is doing a thing on us, but this freedom and justice is not going to come easy. So let's fight, leaders. The program is almost done. We are more than halfway through. Please stay with us. Stay focused. Can we make sure that everybody still remains in their chairs? We only have 2 more speeches to go, and then we'll make sure everybody can get some refreshments. Please, leaders. So at this stage, I'd like to introduce the people's leader, our very own NLC member, Erfan Mangera.
I rise, I rise, we rise, we rise, together, 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 together. Danko. Sanbonani, Dumelang, Namaste, Vanakkam, Goeiedag. Good afternoon, and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Risers, risers, do you see that there? Do you see that there? Can you see it? Are you sure? What are you looking at? Close your eyes. Close your eyes, leaders. Can you feel it? Is it becoming clearer? Is it becoming clearer now? Are you feeling it this side, leaders? I don't think you're feeling it. Can you see it? Are you sure? You see, leaders, what you're looking at, Batlali, is the future. Is a future of hope and change. It is hope on the horizon. My beloveds, respected mothers, gogos, mkulus, fathers, brothers and sisters, friends and fellow South Africans. Today is a special day. Just over 30 years ago, on the 10th of May, 1994, Utata rose to the podium and he affirmed glory and hope for the newborn freedom that we have today. A freedom which was a gallant fight against the oppressors of the time. I was not there, neither was I alive. For me and my generation, we entered through the womb of democracy, full of encouragement, learning from our families, our teachers, that the journey ahead was going to be one of hope and change. One that was not going to be easy. And we remained hopeful that things will get better. That with freedom, much can possibly be achieved. I remember as a child, I was eagerly watching the news, waiting for the sports matches so that I could sing the national anthem with pride, knowing that while others may not see me or hear me, they will step up and feel it the same way I have, and the same way many South Africans have. We understand that there's no easy road to freedom. There's no true easy way for substantive freedom. But as Ahmed Kathrada reminded us, the march to freedom cannot be stopped. And so as we rise to carry the baton forward, as we rise to carry the baton forward to strengthen democracy and build a nation in step with itself, safe, prosperous, equal, and united, we do so knowing that we can only achieve this together. There can be no true freedom if we are all not free. And so, my leaders, from Congo, Sudan, and Palestine, all the way to Cape Town, Guguletu, Soweto, and Lenasia, where I come from, Our story is a story that might be marred by pain and sorrow, but it is also a story of triumph over the human spirit. It is a story that connects us and our souls together. The past, those that have come in the past, those in the present here today, and those we have lost along the way. We rise today and every day for a new politics. We rise today and every day for a soulful politics that centers care, that centers well-being, and that centers joy and service to our people. It is a politics of ordinary people like you see here next to you today. A politics that demands all people have water, have bread, and have work for all. A politics of dignity. My dear South Africans, the hopeful horizon demands us to be honest with ourselves. 30 years ago, we set out to build upon one of the most glorious achievements the world has ever seen. The most glorious of human achievements. But how do we reconcile that when the very fabric is being eroded? When that glory is being eroded? When the liberators have now become the oppressors? Stripping us of water, making food inaccessible, and breaking down the gains that we've made to further dignity and unity. How can we allow such a glorious moment, a glorious human achievement, to be muddied and dirtied by people who drive fancy G-Wagon Mercedes-Benz, throwing T-shirts on the floor for us to run behind them? What kind of amasellas must we be looking up to? This is nonsense. Pansi amasela pansi! Pansi amasela pansi! We can no longer remain prisoner to history anymore. Did we not believe that never, never, and never again will we experience oppression to enter our beautiful land? Did we not say that? Did we not believe that? And yet 30 years down the line, we're now experiencing it. How can we accept a South Africa that has become the famous in the world for the worst things of poverty and inequality, of murder, of rape, and of hunger? These are not imaginary hardships, leaders. These are hardships we face every single day. They are the daily man-made realities that our people endure, while the current leaders occupy and bask in questionable wealth. And yes, South Africa, my darling, you will always be famous. Because despite all of this, the ordinary people rise up. The ordinary people show up in their greatness. Our artists and our sports teams, our civic activists, all of us who are hardworking and incorruptible, some of our public servants who refuse to be corrupted, the healers and the care workers in our community. To you and all of you deserve the glory. To you and all of you deserve the thanks. My fellow South Africans, there are those who say the challenge today is that we do not know who the enemy is. We know. The enemy is Amasela. Who is the enemy? Who is the enemy? Who is the enemy? The enemy to progress today is the political establishment who cares only for their self-enrichment and for their self-preservation. The enemy today are those leaders who do nothing to end poverty and inequality. The enemy today are those who don't want us to challenge them, to challenge the status quo of corruption and a toxic political culture. Our enemies are who? Our enemies are who? Are who? Are who? And our struggle and generational mission is one of ordinary people inspired by our daily struggles, yearning for a life free from fear. These enemies have broken our country and have forced us into a perpetual state of emergency. And we the people, ought to rise up against them. We the people ought to rise up in our communities, just like those in Outa who fought against the e-tolls by civil disobedience. Just like those in our community, like the Heritage Foundation yesterday, who is fighting for the library to be open in Johannesburg. Just like those like you who have food kitchens, community kitchens, feeding the poor and the hungry. People to people solidarity. That is who we must work with. We the people who rise up for a new future. We do so full well, knowing that all peace and loving justice South Africans, all peace and justice loving South Africans are walking this journey with us. To recognize once again that there is never going to be a perfect vehicle, but we must join together to achieve justice and change and inspire hope everywhere we go. We the people unite behind the leaders of today, the new leaders who cherish the ideal of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in dignity, in harmony, and equal opportunities. We the people, black, white, Indian and colored, and all South Africans from all parts of the world want to join together, shared in their principles and ideals, to serve you every day, working to achieve that vision. We unite together under a new leadership guided by you the people, ordinary South Africans who want to champion the growth and development of this country. We need to elect new leaders on the 29th of May. What are we going to do on the 29th of May? What are we going to do on the 29th of May? The National Leadership Collective is made up of these vibrant new leaders. Akolile Nochiwala, who you saw just now. Nonkululeko Hlongwane Mahlongo, who you saw just now. Fuyiswa Ramakopa, who you saw just now. Tiboko Malusi, who you saw just now. Makashule Ghana, who you saw just now. New leaders who will usher in a new society, a new vision of a safe, equal, united, and just South Africa. A new leader who is led by a humble and dedicated person who has led us all to be here today. None other, Captain, my Captain, Songezo Zibi.
Hey. Yeah. It's young. Si cole. Darito, darito, darito.
Leader.
Song is all. Don't
One of
get
these
that
screens are bent.
time. Get it right. Down. Darito, darito.
The right one.
Songezo, sonke siyakuthanda. Songezo, sikholela kuwe. Songezo, sonke siyakuthanda. Songezo, sikholela kuwe.
The one screen is bent, so I'm asking them to come and change it. I couldn't read from the side.
Tizweni zethu nguwe njalo sithi rise Mzansi, rise Mzansi, rise Mzansi, Songezo themba lethu silibeka ngaphezulu kuwe ngoba siyakholwa isizwe sethu sokuquke sibe ngcono nakho konke okwenzayo kuzosola. Tarita, tarito.
He's got the pen. Give me the pen. Busi. Mamela, mamela, mamela.
Don't rise Mzansi, rise Mzansi, rise Mzansi, rise Mzansi, rise. Get to rise Mzansi, oh rise Mzansi, rise Mzansi, get to rise Mzansi, get to rise Mzansi, oh rise Mzansi, song and soul, uwe ulubamba, song and soul, isizwe sabantu ngeke shabana le song and soul, wonke amathemba kuwe, sikholela ukuthi sophila so kuwe, ezingqondweni zethu kuwe, bazophila bande kuwe, njalo njalo siyo votela we kithi rise Mzansi, rise Mzansi, rise Mzansi, rise Mzansi, rise Mzansi, rise Mzansi, a better nation we believe, a better people we will sing, a better hope you will restore, and you're the leadership in possession. We trust, we believe. Our thoughts and our gratitude, hope and every attitude, it's towards you alone, saying rise, rise, city rise, rise Mzansi, amathemba nsuku zonke thina sikholwa siphile kuwo, ngisho sihamba nje sinomusa gcwele, sithi njalo ushintsho malbe khona la, rise Mzansi, rise Mzansi, rise oh rise Mzansi, get it right, rise Mzansi, rise Mzansi, rise Mzansi, song is out, engqondweni zethu kuwe, senhlizweni zethu songezo, sikuthanda nyanyan manyanyan, kusho namhla nekusasa naphakade kuwe, engqondweni zethu kuwe, ebazophila abantu.
Hold on, front right. Where's Uncle?
Rise Mzansi, rising sun, rising Mzansi, rising sun, rising Mzansi, rising Mzansi, rising Mzansi, rising Mzansi, rising Mzansi,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, leaders. Thank you. Leaders, let's be seated. Leaders, we are now going to invite onto stage the national leader of Rise Mzansi, Songezo Zibi.
You are investing your time in the real freedom. You are investing your time in a safe, prosperous, equal, and united South Africa in one generation. Thank you for knowing that you are the leaders we have been waiting for. You are the future of South Africa.
Thank you for not listening to those people who say we are wasting their time. But they waste their time watching everything we do so they can criticize it. They know we are marching forward. They know we are moving forward. The reason they snipe at us is because they can see that we are making progress. They are afraid. They are afraid. The guilty are afraid because they know their time is up. And their time is up. And the end of their time begins in this election on the 29th of May, when thousands of us turn up to elect new leaders. So thank you. Thank you for braving the hot sun. Thank you for coming all the way. And I also want to thank those South Africans yesterday and the day before who traveled long distances to go and vote for Rise Mzansi in Tokyo, in Canberra, in Hong Kong, in Shanghai, in Beijing, in London, in New York, in Washington, D.C., in Paris, in Belgium, in The Hague, in Germany. Thank you to all of you, because Rise Mzansi is here. We have votes on the scoreboard. We have votes on the scoreboard. Just over a year ago, there was no Rise Mzansi. Today, there is a Rise Mzansi with voters all over the world, with organizers and volunteers in all 9 provinces. So thank you, because this is your work, this is your sweat, this is your dedication, this is your time, and it is paying off, and it is going to pay off for all South Africans, not just for you. Fellow risers, fellow South Africans, as I stand here today before thousands of risers, I find it astonishing how far we have come in so short a time. It is a sign to me of how urgent and necessary our mission is, and how strong the momentum is for real hope and change in our beautiful country. It was just over a year ago that we announced Rise Mzansi. Since then, we have been traveling the country, holding meetings in community halls, in people's garages, in boardrooms, under trees, in fields. And we had one thing over and over again. You told us that we need new leaders. You told us that the old leaders are tired. You told us that the old leaders are corrupt. You told us that the old leaders have run out of ideas. You told us the old leaders have lost touch with the people, that they are only interested in their own power and their own stomachs. And so we decided to take a leap of faith. You decided to take a leap of faith. And all of us gathered here today took this leap of faith. The leaders, the candidates, the organizers, and the amazing Rise Mzansi volunteers. Today we have supporters all over the country, hundreds of thousands of supporters. And we have voters all over the world. Rise Mzansi has voters all over the world. Yesterday, a South African who lives in the United Kingdom, Liam, told us he drove 8 hours and stood 4 hours in the queue to cast his ballot for Rise Mzansi. Because nothing and no one is going to stand between him and change, between us and change, and the country that we all deserve. We have voters enough to carry us in numbers into parliament. Some of our supporters have already voted for Rise Mzansi. Like I said, from Dar es Salaam to New York, from New York to Cairo, from Cairo to London, from London to Dubai, from Dubai to Oslo. Some of you gave up your jobs. All of you gave up your time. And we put our hope in something new, something that might change South Africa. We became the new leaders we need. We became the new leaders we deserve. We collected the tens of thousands of signatures we needed to be on the ballot nationally and in all 9 provinces, so that we could bring our vision of hope and change to South Africa. We came together to draft our People's Manifesto, where we committed ourselves to South Africa's constitutional values. We committed ourselves to freedom. We committed ourselves to equality. We committed ourselves to integrity. We committed ourselves to solidarity. We committed ourselves to justice. We committed ourselves to fight for a safe, prosperous, equal, and united South Africa in one generation. We did not just get here anyhow. We went through a transparent and robust process of selecting the best possible candidates from right across the country. Candidates with roots and respect in their communities. Candidates who are fresh in politics, who are young and understand what's needed for the future, but who have deep experience in the community, in various organizations, and in business. We have candidates from all walks of life to create a truly non-racial movement. These are our new leaders, and they are with me here on stage. But when I say we are the new leaders we need, I'm not just talking about those who are sitting on stage. I mean all of you who are present here today. Together, we have been on a fulfilling journey. It's been a hard journey, but it's been fulfilling. We have crisscrossed the country over the past few weeks. We have been in Emalahleni. We have been in KwaMashu. We have been in Botshabelo. We have been in Macau. We have been in Zwelicha. We have been in Mitchell's Plain. We have been to Atteridgeville, to Skirlek, to Alex, to Orange Farm, and many other communities across the country. And now we are here, thousands of us rising together, rising to choose hope over fear, rising to choose action over apathy, rising to take control of our destiny, rising to take back the future from the tired old leaders, the corrupt old leaders of the tired old, corrupt old political parties. We are rising to work together for equality, for the prosperity, the freedom that we know we can achieve in one generation if we work hard and we work with our communities. And when I say we are the new leaders we need, I don't mean the people present here today. I mean all of you watching on your screens. I mean every South African who cares, who wants the best for themselves and their communities and their neighbors and our nation. I come here today not as a prophet of doom, like some leaders who talk about a doomsday coalition. I stand here as a messenger of hope. I know we can do it, and I'm here to tell you how we can begin to walk along this road together towards the transformation that was promised in 1994, but was never delivered. Towards a people's parliament, towards a people's government, towards a people's presidency, towards a democracy that is truly of the people, for the people, and by the people. "30 years ago, I was 18 years old when I voted for the first time at the Mthatha Town Hall. I was fresh out of school, and in 1994 was a new beginning for me in more ways than one. I was now an adult, expected to take on greater responsibilities in my family and in my community. It was a real honor to exercise my newly earned right to vote responsibly. It had been a very few hard years. Like many South Africans, I had lost family and friends to political violence and state-sponsored killings. So standing in that queue was bittersweet. I reflected on the thousands who died during our struggle for liberation with sadness that they never saw the promised land. I wish they could see the fruits of their work. At the same time, I was very excited, just like everyone else. We were excited at the prospect that with the simple act of placing an X next to the party of our choice, we would usher in profound change and transformation in South Africa. We were excited that South Africa would finally become peaceful and the people would live in safe communities, free of violence. I put my cross next to the face of Madiba. Today, 30 years later, I'm getting ready to vote, again with a mixture of sadness and excitement. I am deeply sad that 30 years into democracy, we are so far from our promised land. Actually, I am not just sad. I am angry too. I am angry at the way the promise has been broken. I am angry at the way the dream of freedom, equality, and dignity of democracy has been deferred because of the way the old leaders from the old parties have squandered the mandate we have given them. The way they have broken our trust. And so, here we are, 30 years later, with millions of South Africans going into this election with fear for their lives and for the future. Our objective as Rise Mzansi is to turn that fear into hope and to turn that hope into actual transformation. Here we are in a country where no one feels safe. On the street, at work, and in our homes. We need new leaders to turn this country around. Rise Mzansi has a new and workable plan to make our criminal justice work. We will reduce the murder rate in 3 years. The experts tell us this is absolutely doable with the right policies and the right leaders of the South African Police Service. Let us kick out the cronies, the ineffectuals, the corrupt. Let us put the clean and the efficient ones in. Here we are in a country where too many can't put food on the table, where unemployment is at over 41%. That means almost half of all South African working age adults do not have work. This is higher than it was 15 years ago. It is worse than it was 15 years ago. Here we are, in a country where young people complete school and training and still depend on parents who have given everything to make sure they get an education. Where graduates stand on street corners in their academic year, begging for work instead of working. We need new leaders to turn this around. Rise Mzansi has a real and workable plan to help single mothers and all parents by doubling the child care grant. We have a real and workable plan that will enable mothers to earn skills, to find work and earn an income, because their communities will have fully equipped daycare and ECD centers staffed by trained people from within the community. We have a real and workable plan to make government employment available to all people, not just those under the age of 35. Rise Mzansi has a real and workable plan to make our economy work again so that it provides jobs to millions of South Africans who currently sit without jobs. We will do this to begin with by raising 300 billion rand in 3 years through a wealth tax and setting up a national growth fund that will repair our ailing infrastructure and create jobs at the same time. This is nothing less than a new deal for South Africa, and we all know that we need it. We are certain that with the right political leadership, everyone will come on board. Here we are in a country where basic services are too often no longer provided, where the trains no longer run, the taps run dry, and the lights no longer work. Rise Mzansi, your Rise Mzansi, has a real and workable plan to fix the basics so that the economy can work again. Our local government, our electricity, and our water, and our railways, and our ports, and the security situation in the country. Rise Mzansi has a real and workable plan to ensure that all South Africans have access to clean water and sanitation, to ensure that water does not replace electricity as a crisis that paralyzes South Africa in the coming months and years. This is a crisis that could literally kill us. we have a real and workable plan to put tens of thousands of young people into training so they can get a living wage jobs as we invest in local and regional infrastructure and put solar panels on the roof of every home in South Africa. Fellow South Africans, fellow risers, as we look at these problems, 30 years into democracy, it is important to state loudly and categorically that none of them happened by accident. None of them are the consequence of a natural disaster. Of course, South Africa is a complicated place with deep inequality, and of course, the global economy is volatile. But we must look the truth squarely in the eye. The problems we face are the result of leaders who are not fit to govern, not fit to lead, not fit to unite South Africans, not fit to inspire us in our darkest hour of need. And so we ask you to vote Rise Mzansi on May 29. We are not entitled to your vote, but we ask you with a commitment to serve you. We ask you to send the representatives you have chosen to Parliament so that they can show what it means to be new leaders with values, new leaders with vision, new leaders with commitment, new leaders with a plan. We need new leaders who will work to bring all South Africans together instead of driving us apart. For too long, we have been divided in this country, and the cost of divisive politics has done great damage to the progress we could have made. We need new leaders who will bring transparency to government procurement, who will prosecute the corrupt and implement hiring practices that the South African people can trust. We need new leaders who pledge to be accountable, to be available, to bring dignity and seriousness back into politics, to bring love and care back into government. Leaders who have love and respect for every South African and for every community. We need new leaders who really will heal the divisions of the past, as the Constitution tells us to do, and will establish a society based on democratic values, social justice, and fundamental human rights. This means recommitting ourselves to fight for the dignity of every South African. It means acknowledging that every South African has right to a piece of land or a house to build a life and home for their children. It also means fighting for the non-racialism that is a core value of our Constitution, and insisting that South Africa belongs to all who live in it, regardless of race, class, gender, sexual orientation, or geographical location. There are parties that are campaigning to win votes by sowing a politics of fear and division. They might appeal to a small section of South Africans with this strategy, but it is no way to build a nation. It is no way to build hope. It is no way to forge the common purpose we so desperately need. Fellow South Africans, I come here today with a pledge and with a plan. We pledge to make a People's Parliament a reality. As soon as we get to Parliament, we will begin advocating for a constitutional amendment to change our electoral system so that at least 50% of elected representatives are directly elected and are accountable to a constituency of voters, not this circus that we have now, where the people represent their stomachs and represent their pockets and represent the pockets of their friends. We will implement citizens' assemblies composed of ordinary South Africans, drawn by civic lottery to formulate recommendations to Parliament that will have to be taken into consideration. This already happens in many other countries, but does not happen here because we have leaders who do not want to listen to the people, who do not want to be accountable. We will make it happen so that we can be true to the Constitution, which calls for participatory democracy. When we get to Parliament, we will work tirelessly to make sure that government is held accountable for every penny of your money that it spends. And will be accountable to you, the voters, the citizens of South Africa. And when we become part of a new government, we will make sure that it is a people's government. We will do this by ending cadre deployment and implementing a culture of management and leadership excellence, by making sure that procurement is clean and transparent so that we deny Amasela the opportunity to steal our money the way they are doing now. We need zero tolerance for corruption in South Africa. And we need to start right at the top with the people who hide thousands of dollars in their couches, and they then turn around and tell us they are going to fight corruption. They think we are stupid. We are looking at them. We can see what they do, and we know that they are lying to the South African people. Rise Mzansi is ready to serve. We are ready to serve you by governing the way the Constitution demands, but in the way that has been forgotten and disregarded by these old, tired leaders, the corrupt old leaders who are taking our country backwards and stealing the future of our children. I and every Rise candidate you are sending to provincial legislatures, to Parliament, will make the pledge that I will read to you now. This is the Rise Mzansi pledge. These are my ABCs, and they are the ABCs of every candidate. In the coming week, every candidate will sign this pledge in front of members of their community, just as I am going to do just now when I finish speaking. The pledge says, I pledge to be accessible and accountable. I pledge to be brave and busy. I pledge to be cooperative, consultative, and clean. I will be accessible. You will always be able to find me. In fact, I will find you. There will be no blue lights between you and me. Just an open door. I will be accountable. I will report back to you. I will use every single one of my mandated constituency days in my constituency, and I will also give formal quarterly report backs in public meetings. I will be brave. I will not cower before the powerful, be they in government or in business. I will ask the tough questions, and I will demand clear answers on your behalf. I will be busy. I will work tirelessly in Parliament to hold the government accountable to you, the people, and to introduce policies and laws that will bring about a safe, prosperous, equal, and united South Africa in one generation. In one generation. In one generation. 30 years is too long. We cannot wait another 30 years. We cannot wait another 30 years. We cannot make our children wait 30 years. The time to act is now. I will work tirelessly in government to make sure that the public administration is run properly by competent leaders and that services are delivered efficiently. This means fixing the basics so that we fight joblessness, we fight crime, we fight disease, we fight hunger. I will be cooperative. I will work together with my team in the Rise Mzansi caucus. and we will work together with our communities and with other members of parliament or members of provincial legislatures. We will work with anyone who puts ethics, public service, community interest, and social justice first. I will be consultative. I will consult you on all significant laws and policies and find new ways to deliberate with you, the people, on what is best for our nation. I will be clean, I will be ethical, and I will never ask for kickbacks, favor family members, or do anything corrupt. I will submit voluntarily to lifestyle audits and make these findings public. And we challenge those thieves who own big houses, who wear Gucci bags, Louis Vuitton clothes and shoes, to tell us where they get the money when all they supposedly do, they are supposed to represent the South African people. Where do they get the money to fly first class with their girlfriends to Dubai while South Africans are hungry? They need to tell us. The only reason they don't tell us where they get the money is because they know they are guilty. And the guilty are afraid of the light of transparency. That's why they don't tell us. That's why they must go. That's why we must get rid of them. And that's why 29th of May is so important. We must hold those in government to the same standards. Fellow South Africans, fellow risers, in 1994, we were promised a democracy for the people and by the people. This promise has been betrayed. 30 years later, only 30 years later, our level of trust for politicians is at its lowest ever. We are your Rise Mzansi candidates. We are of the people, by the people, and for the people. We are standing for election to earn back this trust. That is the Rise Mzansi pledge. I know that life is hard. I know that days seem like weeks, weeks seem like months, and months feel like years, and a year can feel like a lifetime because of the severe and terrible conditions that these corrupt leaders have put our families, our children, our young people, our mothers and our fathers. But this is not the time to despair. This is not the time to be discouraged. This is not the time to give up. It is a time to rise up. It is a time to stand together. It is a time to fight. It is a time to get the South Africa we deserve. It is a time to remove these people from power. It is a time to fight each and every day to deliver the future we were promised in 1994. It is a time to make our heroes, our brave warriors who fought for our freedom from colonial days to 1994, to show them that we remain committed to the goal of freedom, to the goal of justice, to the goal of a fair society, to the goal of a just society, to the goal of a government that works for everyone, to the goal of a society that cares, to the goal of a politics of love, of compassion. They may laugh at us. They may laugh at us. They may laugh at what we do. But the evidence is here for them to see. Last year, there was no Rise Mzansi. Last year, there was no Rise Mzansi. Today, you have Rise Mzansi from Mpumalanga to the Western Cape, from the Northern Cape to KZN, in the Free State, in the Eastern Cape, in KZN, and in Mpumalanga, and in Gauteng, in the Northern Cape, in the Northwest. Today, Rise Mzansi is everywhere. Rise Mzansi is growing. They have neither the credibility nor the language to have this conversation with the South African people that we are having. So when you leave here today, when you go home, when you go to your places of work, when you go to your places of worship, when you go to your community organizations, when you go to your sports clubs, you must take a message of hope. You must tell everybody that you meet that hope has come to South Africa, that Rise Mzansi has come to South Africa, that the dawn of a new day has come to South Africa, that the promised land is looming over the horizon, that the South Africa that we promised will be here within one generation. We must tell them that those who are powerful, that who think they are untouchable, who think they cannot go to jail, one day they will stand in the dock in handcuffs and we will send them to prison for a long time. So they have got enough years to think about every life that they have caused in South Africa. Every bit of suffering that they are causing today to every South African. We must not give up. We must never give up. We must never give up. After this election, as soon as this election is done, we are getting down to work because 2026 is here. We are going to remove every thief out of every council, out of every province in South Africa. We are going to get them out and we are going to use the money of the South African people in the way that money is supposed to be used. We cannot give up now. We can see the promised land and we are the people to deliver it. And when they ask you who will deliver that promised land, you must tell them, I will deliver that promised land. And one day, you might ignore me now, you will be forced to look me in the eye and say, I'm sorry. And when I do that, we will still send you to prison. There will be no forgiveness. There will be no amnesty. There will be no amnesty for anyone who has caused a child to go to bed hungry, who has caused a child to go to a school with no windows, to drown in a pit latrine. We cannot forget what these people are doing today to the future of South Africa, to the lives of South Africans. We are the people that are going to hold them accountable. We are the ones we have been waiting for. And when we are done with them, they will understand and know very well what happens when you piss off the South African people. May 29th, there are 3 ballots. Ballot number 1, Rise Mzansi. Ballot number 2, Rise Mzansi. Ballot number 3, ballot number 1, ballot number 2, ballot number 3. I rise, I rise, I rise, we rise, we rise, we rise, I rise, I rise, we rise, we rise, rise Mzansi rise, rise Mzansi rise, rise Mzansi rise. Thank you. Hello, darling. Thank you. And so to my right here is the Rise Mzansi pledge. And unlike the thieves who cannot tell us who are their premier candidates in every province are, I am going to sign this pledge in front of all of you, followed by our premier candidates, preceded by our premier candidates. Thank you. Chair. You go first, Chair.
All right, let me go first.
My leader. Tsoha,
Tsoha, tsoha, tsoha. Tsoha, tsoha, tsoha. Songezo ubatla maraiza. Hayaya. Songeso obata maraiza. Hayaya. Riri tsuha tsuha tsuha. Tsuha tsuha tsuha. Hayaya. Vuyiswa obata maraiza. Hayaya. Vuyiswa obata maraiza. Hayaya. Rere tsuha tsuha tsuha. Hayaya. Rere tsuha tsuha tsuha. Akolile ubatla maraiza. Hayaya. Ex ubatla maraiza. Hayaya. Rere tsuha tsuha tsuha. Hayaya tsuha tsuha. Nonkululeko ubatla maraiza. Hayaya tsuha tsuha. Nonkuleko ubatla maraiza. Hayaya tsuha tsuha. I rise. I rise. We rise. Leaders, thank you very much. That is the end of our program. We appreciate your commitment and your discipline. This fight is not going to be easy, and you've demonstrated that you are up for the challenge. We are here for 20 years. For 3 hours in the sun is not nothing to us. We are going to fight and deliver victory. We will fight to deliver victory for Rise Mzansi. Leaders, there is food that's going to be made available by the entrance where the gazebos are. Please allow the elderly to have access to food first. Please let the elderly and children have access to food first. There is enough food for everybody to eat. There will be entertainment for people to enjoy themselves. Thank you very much, leaders. 10 days to go. Let's go out there. Let's mobilize. Let's make sure on the 29th of May, we deliver victory for Rise Mzansi.
just flew